Hi everyone, welcome for today's webinar. I welcome everybody for showing your interest in filling as well as joining this webinar. So before we get proceed, I would like to know that are you able to see my screen? Is that my screen is visible to everyone? And can you hear me clearly? Can you use the chat panel? Even you can unmute your call and can answer me. Am I audible to everybody? Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So for those whose people are not able to see my screen, can please refresh your session. Uh, the others can see my screen, so it means it should be visible to everybody. So if anybody have any issues regarding if your screen is not visible at your end, so please do refresh your screen once, so you will be able to see that. Okay. All right. So let's do start. So uh, let me tell you about this webinar, how it's does, how it's going to be work, what is the agenda about this webinar. So this webinar are gonna give you the complete deep dive process if you're going to start your career in cybersecurity. If you're already in the cybersecurity, working as a security analyst, and you're looking for the next positions to be get high paid in your salaries, or you're looking for the high, so this webinar is for you. This webinar for the people who want to get start your career into the IT sector. They are from non-IT background and they want to switch their career into the the more demanding job areas that is we call as a cyber security, as well as the people who already struggling to get it higher payments, like a higher salaries, hike in salaries. These webinars is completely designed for the people to get achieve how they can utilize their time, their value, and the skills to get the better positions in the job market. How you can be able to crack the top MNC jobs, what are the interview strategies are there, how the tools and technologies they are going to work. So this webinar is not just giving you an idea with the theoretical concept, but also we're going to discuss about the practical scenarios, how it works, what are things are there, what are the skill set we require if you want to be a cybersecurity specialist. So I'm very super excited to get into the more deep dive into the process and explain you all in detail with zero x zero a zero from zero to advanced level, so you don't need to be worried about that you're from non-technical background or you're from technical background, because this webinar are going to give you a deep dive that is from scratch to the advanced level. We're going to discuss it. So next 1 hour it may take 90 minutes as well. So with this 90 minutes webinar, we're going to discuss the more deeper information about it, as well as I'm gonna answer your questions. So be ready with your questions. If you have any sort of questions regarding your job market or regarding your job positions, regarding the salaries, regarding any questions you have in before getting started your career into the cybersecurity, so I'll be going to answer you the entire process. So before I go ahead, I welcome again for everyone for today's webinar as an SOC analyst, which we're going to discuss about what are the process are there, why the more demand in there as a SOC analyst or cloud security specialist in cybersecurity, what are the opportunities are there. And these webinars give you the complete detail informations about how the SOC operations works. So before I go ahead, I would like to tell you that who's the person that's talking behind the screen. So my name is Sheikh Iftikhar. I'm a cybersecurity practitioner with 12 years of experience. I work into the different areas like designing, managing, and implementing different security solutions. We handle different projects. We understand the client requirement, how the client assets are there, what are their asset criticalities are there, how we need to design the securities, what are the compliance process are there, how they need to manage their policies, either internal policies, external policies. There are different patch management, risk management assignment process which we have done. So we have been going to work into the different areas for giving the services for the client, as well as we have served different project experience working with the technical lead complex with the projects like government projects, bank, healthcare, private sector. So there are like the several top MNCs are there which we have been taking the services from us, and for the security specialist, we'll be there as a consultant for designing the security for an organization. And if I talk about my career, they're into the mid of this, like I've been working as in the security specialist, getting handled different multiple project, different clients, as well as we are into making and empower the people, getting training to the SOC, how they can start their career into the cybersecurity with no coding skills. We have trained more than 10,000 people around the world. Like we have 16 different countries where the people take the services and training. So we provide this training. We have trained 10,000 plus candidate worldwide, and we empower them to start their career into the cybersecurity. If I talk about my personal profile, I'm a husband, father, hacker, gamer, sports fan, as well as the animal lover. And if you want to reach out and see our services, you can log into our website like techgeeks.co.in. You're gonna get like complete detail about our services and our current clients, like how we are dealing with the project with them. As well as if you want to connect me through the LinkedIn, so Sheikh Ifti is my ID where you can connect and you can get updated about the jobs in cybersecurity or any kind of the patch management or any vulnerabilities updates, which we always have an update channels through which you can get those information. Now, so let's get into the subject and get understand like how it works. So before I go ahead this and talk much about that, I would like to know like about the people, if you're from which city. Just quickly put in the chat, put your city name from where you are. I request everybody just put your city name. So let me see that people are from which city you are. Okay. Request everybody to just put your city name. We have okay, Pune, Nagpur, Solapur, Bangalore, perfect. Mumbai, perfect, perfect. Hyderabad, Latur, all right. All right. Let's go ahead. Do it quickly, everybody. I request everyone to put it your city name. So Lakshmi from Hyderabad. Perfect. Great, great, great. All right, all right. That's fine. Thank you very much. So, guys, before I get started this webinar, I request everybody, I want your complete attention. So keep it away all your distraction. I want your a serious 1 hour time to get you understand. I'm sure that you're gonna enjoy this webinar. I'm sure that it's not a boring webinar where you're going to be listen something like that which is not related to the market. We are going to talk all thing on the real scenario. I'm excited to talk about that, and as well as you have open mic, so you have any questions you can just unclick and you can message us you can you can put it into the call. So we always take the webinars with very limited people, so 20 to 25 people will be there in the webinar. So we don't take it hundreds of peoples where they don't have a chance, they just listen us and we can't be able to answer it. It's not like that. So we have only limited access to this webinar. Around 20 to 25 people will be there on this webinar. So we have given this access only for selected 28 people, through which you one of that. So there's a lot of hundreds of people are there, but we got it filtered only with the 28 people so are listening this webinar. So out of this, you guys are. So we have a complete conversations. Like if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask us. So let me do start about this webinar. Just put in the chat. Let's start. I want to see how many of you are ready. Just put in the chat. Let's start. Everybody. I request everybody to put in the chat. Let's start. I want to see how many people are active listening me. Quickly, everybody. I request everybody to put it in the chat. Let's start. All right. All right. Great. Great. Perfect. 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 Yeah. So let's start now. So let's see, like, so I want everybody to be have your, like, watch the screen and see that. I believe my audio, my screen, everything is visible. So I'm going to talk about the cybersecurity. What is cybersecurity? How it works? So before I talk about the cybersecurity, we need to understand why we require the security. That is the most important part. So as we can see that the internet is growing rapidly and it's given rises to the new opportunity every field we think about it. It can be the entertainment, it can be the business, it can be the sports, it can be the educations, it can be the bank transactions, it can be the several services which is added. So today time, as we can see that the services are getting increased. Today time, if we need to book and cab, we don't need to go to the, somewhere out and get a cab. If we need to book an food, we have an applications. We use those applications. We order food online. We have online services for e-commerce like Amazon, Flipkart, and so on. There are plenty of the services we are using it. So today time, we know that the internet has given the wider range of informations, wider range of services where the people get an access and they use on their daily life. As we can see that the services are getting increased the similar way, we need to know that, as we can get an advantage with the internet, there is also the disadvantage. So what is that disadvantage? So internet, it's a vulnerable process. Whatever the services we put on the internet, there is a vulnerabilities, and the attackers will take an advantage of those vulnerabilities and going to attack on this application. They're going to attack on the services. So if we talk about it, like, the internet has its own disadvantage, that the cyber crime, the hackers, the illegal process for their personal gain. The motive can be make it like huge profit. They do the illegal activity. They try to find out vulnerabilities. They try to take an access to those systems. They create the different malware. They're going to inject those malware. They're going to use different phishing attacks. They're going to send the phishing attacks to the target organizations and going to get an access to that. And there are several type of cyber attack which happens. So in order to secure that, we got the cyber security. So as we can see that over the internet, we increase the services the same while the cyber attack is also getting increased. Attackers are becoming more innovative to attack in a different systems to take different access. In order to save that, we got cyber security. So what is cyber security? The cyber security or information security are the technology of protecting IT assets. That can be the computers, that can be the networks, that can be the servers, that can be the programs, that can be any data that are from unauthorized access or attack that aim for exploitation. There are the different type of database are there where the attackers need to get an access to it. It can be the financial access, it can be the confidential data about the customers, employees, and so on. So these are storage with the different process. It can be on the premises, it can be on cloud. So these attackers to try to find out the vulnerabilities and try to get an access. To secure that, we call as in cyber security. Now when I say that, how this works, what are those processes are there? So in the cyber security, there are the 40 plus different domains are there. There are the vulnerability teams, like there are the penetration testing team. We have a threat intelligence. We have a threat hunter. We have the digital forensic. We have incident response teams. There are patch management team, risk management team. We have information security team, as well as we have the one most important team, the first cyber defense team. We can say that is called as a SOC, the Security Operations Center. SOC analysts are the first line of securities in cybersecurity. So if they're working, if they're protecting an asset, means they monitor 24 by 7, 365 days, all the assets, what are the activities happening. They give 360 views about what are the asset activities is taking place, how the attack patterns are there, what type of malicious or suspicious activities is taking place. So SOC analysts are the first point of contact. They keep an eye on every entries, whatever it is happens to the corporate network. So if I'll say you that how does SOC work, what does it mean by the SOC? So understanding the role of a SOC analyst, if I talk about it, the SOC is nothing but we call it a security operations center. And the person who work under the SOC is called the security analyst or the SOC analyst, which are going to play the crucial role in maintaining the security of an organization information system. That can be they get a centralized unit where they're responsible for monitoring, detecting, and responding the different cyber threat, different type of incidents when it is happens. They are going to mitigate those security incident in real time. Mitigations are nothing but how we can minimize the risk factor, how we can stop an attackers to get an access. That's the process how the SOC is doing it. So they're into the monitoring infrastructure, they're into detecting and responding to those incidents. They're going to detect and analyze how those threat is going to be harmed, what type of malware they're going to inject, how we're going to respond to the incident, how we going to use the different threat intelligence tools in order to deal with it. This is how the SOC operations work. So I would like to give you a deep idea about that. Let's see how it's work. When I say the SOC, as we know, the SOC monitor for all signs of cyber attack, all signs of cyber attack, whatever it is happens. Either it can be the internal or it can be an external attack. What are the team performance? What type of activities they're performing on the organization's asset? What type of the external attack happens? Those are the most important part. The SOC monitors the signs of cyber attacks such as unusual login, strange pattern in the network traffic, or any seems that look like something is not going normal, something is abnormal thing, something is not ordinary things which has happened that can be harm an organization's asset. So SOC has the point where they're going to monitor those. So once they spot a potential threat, they start doing the investigation. They investigate, they find out the reason why it's happening, from where it is happening, and they're going to block those attackers to get an access. This is how the SOC team are working. So there are the several assets out there. When I say that the asset list, as we know that as a security analyst, if we have been working, we are going to protect an IT assets of an organizations. So what does it mean by the IT assets? So if we see the IT assets are nothing but where the businesses are carrying, where the services are providing to the customers. So they are the different servers, they are the different workstations, they are the different networks, they are the different database, they are different applications, because application is one of the asset where the business is running. If I talk about the Zomato, if I talk about Swiggy, if I talk about Amazon, if I talk about Facebook, Instagram, and so on. So there are several applications are there. That application need to be have proper security. In order to secure those businesses, the application's activity need to be get monitored. So like these, there are the several assets are there. This is just a sample to get you understand how the asset list are there. So we have, if we can see that we have the endpoints. Now what does it mean by the endpoints? Endpoints are nothing but it can be a workstations like laptop, desktop, smart devices, tablets, or there are the different IoT devices can be there. Sorry. So these IoT devices can be the Internet of Things, where we can see that there are the smart devices added in the organization for performing the different tasks. We have network devices that can be the routers, switches, firewalls, load balancers, wrap services. All those comes under the network security, network devices that need to be get monitored. There is in servers. There are the different servers are there. We have the virtual servers. We have the physical server. We have we have the cloud servers which we need to monitor. There are the several applications also there. These applications can be an in-house applications, that can be the web applications, that can be a third-party applications. There are the several databases we have it. So these database stores, in the form of MySQL, SQL, Oracle, we have the cloud services. We have different regularity policies that need to be checked here. So if I talk about that, can be the HIPAA, GDPR, PCI, DSS, there are payment card industry, data security standards. We have different data protections law that need to be get maintained here. This is what where the asset list can be there. If I'll talk about these asset lists, which is very important for to provide the security. Now comes, this is where my business are running. Employees are working on the endpoints. All the assets are connected on the network. There are the different servers we have, different applications we have, database we have, like cloud services we have, different compliance. There are different policies we have it for an organizations to maintain the security for those areas. So we can see that these are the asset list where it can be there, carrying the different business. So how are we going to secure this? So these assets need to be get monitored 24 by 7, 365 days. The team need to be get monitored. So what they should monitor, that's very important here. So we need to monitor logs. The logs are nothing but we can say that there are the several events or there are the several logs will be there. Now, when I say that the events or logs, that's are nothing but which shows what activity performing on this device here. If you can see that I'm using this Windows machine here, so I'll be using these applications or I'll be using like different web requests and so on. I'll be getting login, I'll be getting log out. So how these activities can be get recorded? So these activities are recorded in the form of events and logs. If you can see that, if I'll take you to the event viewer, so here we can have it like the clear idea about how those logs can be there. So this is at the Windows logs. Over these Windows logs, we can see like applications log, we have security log, setup log, systems log. So these log which elaborate the complete information what is happening on these critical assets. What are the activities performing by the users when they're getting login, what are the login time, what are the login failures, when time the login failure it is happening. So there are like a lot of informations that related to the applications, that related to the security, that related to the setup system and so on. So we can see that like there are the different logs we get it here. Let me show you something. Let me show you like if I'm getting login, how those events can be there here. So if I say you that this is the login systems here. If I click on this, it's gonna give me the informations about when the user has logged on, what are the system name, what is the like domain name, what time they have login here, you can see that. What is like the event ID for this login here, 4624 is called as a login ID, login successfully, we can see that. The similar way we get it the login failure event also. So how many login failure happens to this endpoints here? So we can see that there is a one login failure happens here. If I click on this, so here it says that an account failed to get login. So what is the event ID here? It's getting changed to the 4625. This is the audit failure. This is the computer which has got login failure. So there are like like this is the information that comes from the web application, that comes from the network here. So if I talk about the network device example, let me just show you. If I have my router here, so this is my network device through which I'm getting like the logs here. So how those logs can be there? So here we can see that whatever the information happens, we can be able to see the system's logs here. So these are the logs where you can see all the activities which is happening here. So when the user have got rejected, what are the authentication failure it is happens, authentication failed one happens, authentication passed one happens. The complete informations we can be able to see. There is a wide range of informations which we are going to get an access to it. So these are the informations which I've been able to see in the form of events and logs. So these events and logs are the most important part in order to detect what type of activity is happening here, how those logs informations can be there. So these logs are collecting from these assets to the SIM tool here. Now, what do you mean by the SIM? What is SIM? If somebody asks me, so I can say you that in a very simple way, SIM is a threat detection tool. There are the several tools are like Splunk, IBM Curator, Rapid7, or Logarithm, ArcSight, McAfee Nitro, Allen Wallet, and so on. There are several tools are there in the market that are going to detect a threat. That is called as a SIM tools, security, information event management. These are going to give you the elaborations about what are happening on this critical asset, how are we going to get this information, what type of informations we are receiving it here. So the SIM are there which we are going to configure. We're going to collect the data from these assets. So these assets are going to send all the information to our SIM here. SIM are going to collect this data in the form of events and logs. These are the events and logs which we are going to collect from these assets. So these are assets are sending these logs to the SIM here. Now, how these logs comes? Let me just give you some idea. Here I have one of the SIM tool is IBM Curator here. Let me show you that. So if I get login here, now here you can see that these are the SIM tool where we're going to collect the data here. If I click on the log activities, so here at this log activities, if you can see that there are the several logs are there. These logs are coming from multiple assets which is onboarded here. If I'm showing you like if I want to show this information, for the last 45 minutes, what are the logs I have received here. So I can be able to see the complete data about this. This is are the data here. So let me just make this as some easy to understand you. Let me just make it the something group with the even name. So here we can see that these are the asset list through which we have received these logs here. So these logs are going to give us the complete information about what are the activity happens here. So when the users are enabled, what are the disabled, what is the virus detected here. If you can see that, if you can see that like the information is logged out, if we can see that like user have failed to log in SSH incorrect password. So what are those activities? So we can click on these information and we can able to see like what data is getting passed and what are the informations we are receiving. So there are like several type of informations which we are going to receive through these logs to the SIM tool. So once the SIM have collected this data here, SIM are going to give us an alert. So when the alert is comes here, alert is nothing but a notifications where the users are going to receive something is going to be or it happens bad. Something is risk is happens that we can consider here. So that is nothing but we call as a malicious activity. It can be the malicious activity, it can be the suspicious activity. We're going to collect that from those assets here. So those assets are generating different type of alert, and that alerts are coming to the same, and we're going to detect those malicious activities. So these malicious activities, when we got it, we generate an alert. How this alert can be generated? There is a pattern out there. There's a rules have been defined. These rules are nothing but we call as a correlations rules, like the conditions which we're going to put it. There is event rule, there is a correlations rule, there is a custom rule. How does the SIM going to know that this is at the suspicious activity? How does SIM is going to notify that there is something is going wrong? Because we need to define certain pattern here. Let us imagine a situation. So if I ask you one simple question, let's see that, guys. We have one endpoint here. Let's see that this is my work. This is one of my workstation is there. All right. So this is my one of the workstation. So over this same workstation, we have received some login failures. We got to know there is some login failure is going here. So we have received some 10 login failure in just 1 minute. What do you think? Like it's a normal activity or is this suspicious activity? Somebody is trying to get login 10 times we have received in 10 login failure in just 1 minute. What do you think? Put in the chat. Is this suspicious or it's a normal activity? It's not normal activity, right? There is something suspicious is going on. There is something attack pattern is going on. Somebody is trying to guess this. But how does the SIM going to know that? How the SIM will get to know that this is a something somebody is trying to get login? Because we define some correlations rules here. The rules which give us an idea about how those works, what things is happening here. If I'll see you, if I'll tell you that how those rules can be there, what are like the patterns are there. If I'll just give you some idea here about this. So let me show you that. So here we have the correlations rules. So these rules has been grouped with the different process. It can be the DDoS attack. It can be the different type of malware attack if it is happens or the attack happens to the authentication asset. There are the different reasons are there when the attacks happens. These are the use cases are there through which we can understand. Okay, there is something is going wrong where we have to take an action. So let me show you something about the authentications here. So if I click on this authentications, if we can see that there's a multiple login failure happens from the same machine here. So what it says that here. So if we can see that here, it says that login failure from the same sources on this event when it is detected here. So when it is detected, if I'll show you this condition, let me show you this condition. Let me explain you this condition, how it has happened. So one of the correlation rules which we have seen from the SIM tool, which we have defined, it says that you can see that when at least 10 events when we have received from the same source IP and different username in just 5 minutes. It says that we're going to receive we are receiving different logs here. We are receiving different type of events here from these database and through which we are getting this notification. So these logs are going to give us the information about what is happening. So 10 events we have seen from the same source IP with a different username in just 5 minutes. That's we call as a login failure event. So these login failure event we can compare with this process here, through which we got an alert here. And these alert we start investigating. This is the role, right? Where we can define there are the several conditions are there that related to the malware, that related to the authentications, that related to the suspicious link, that related to the user have login with off time, user have login from other country. There are so many reasons are there where we're going to define those conditions and get an alerts and working on those alerts like how it happens, what type of actions we need to take it, what type of actions plan are there, what sort of data is there, what type of informations are there. So those are very important concepts while we have been working as a security specialist. If you're working for those assets, we're going to get the complete detail and going to analyze and investigate and take an actions on those alerts. So investigation process are nothing but we are going to verify that is that is the true activity or the like it has happened something as a false activity. Maybe a user experience maybe happens, maybe the user have done by himself or somebody is trying to get log into his machine. That might be a several reasons are there. So we require the proper evidence while doing this investigations. So these investigations comes into the two conditions. One we call as a true positive, the other we call as a false positive. So we got an alert and we start investigating, and these investigations are going to give us the two condition that can be the true positive or the false positive. The true positive says that yes, there is some risk has happened that we need to take it. False positive, that can be a false alarm. That be happens due to some reasons here. That can be a user error that may happen. So that we can ignore it. But true positive, yes, somebody is trying to get an access to it. So this is how we got an incident, and these incident need to be get response. Till we have been working as a security specialist, we need to understand what are the situations, how this incident can be get closed here. So there are the several team have been working. There are the different SMEs are there. Subject matter expert teams are going to be get involved in order to handle these alerts and close this ticket. So these close based on how the team is going to be response. So whenever any incident happens, if we see that to these assets, whenever any incident happens, there will be a certain impact at it. I mean to say that in a very simple way, let us imagine that one cyber attack happens. So if there is a cyber attack, so what this cyber attack is going to do it to this asset? Obviously, when this cyber attack is happening, we know that these cyber attack are going to impact. That is something, some impact is going to be happen here. What was those impact can be there here? So these impact can be in any different format here. So these impact can be in the form of financial losses, that can be reputation losses, it can be the operation losses, or it can be any irregularities or compliance policy abuse can be also happens here. So cyber attack may take some impact to the organization asset. Based on this impact level, based on this risk level, there is something we call as something we have severity levels. That is the most important part. So whenever the incident happens, let's see that one incident happened. So over this incident, how are we going to investigate? What are the team of levels? What level of team is coming here? So these incidents have the severity levels here. So there are the different severity levels we are going to be defined. And these severities are going to give us the complete report about what is happening. So what is the severity levels? How that can be there? It can be there in the form of like high. So these severity levels in the form of can be like we can get it like high. We have something called as a medium. There are several type of incidents may happen here. So that can be in the form of high, or it can be form of medium, or it can be form of low, or above the high. We have also can be considered that is as a critical here. So that can be a critical, that can be the high, that can be the medium, or that can be the low. So there are the different part, different patterns where we're going to see that here. So this is are nothing but the severity levels we can see that here. So critical, high, medium, and low. Based on that, what level of team need to be get response, how they need to handle those incidents. That's how the cybersecurity team, the SOC team, are going to be. So we're gonna see that these alerts need to be get investigated by the SOC analyst and take an action. So these alerts, when they are investigating, what level of team will be there? Level one, level two, level three, managers, team leaders. We have like different type of project managers. We have client need to be get involved and so on. So it depends upon the incident type when it is happens. So there are the different level of response should be required, and based on this response, where the actions will be taken on those incidents. So the cybersecurity incidents are very different way like it comes. So we need to investigate on this. Let's see that an example how the investigations happens here. If I'll talk about this investigation process, I would like to take you to the one of the activities here. If we can see that there are the different events happens here. So we have one event. Let's see that. If I'll say virus detected, let's see that here. If I'm clicking on this virus detected, what is happens here? From where this virus is detected here. Let us understand that here. So when I see that there are the several type of assets are there. There are the different source IP, different source port, destination IP. We have the different type of the destination ports. We can see the username and so on. So if I'll see that this is how it's happening. So we can get the complete informations about it. What type of data is there? What type of informations are there? What type of the virus is it? If I click on this, let me show you that. It says that the virus is detected here. Now you can see that this is the source IP and this is the destination IP. Means like this is an attacker IP and this is the asset which is going to be get different because it's going to send it. The initiated IP is the source IP and destination is a destination host. We can see that where they have received. So every incident have the different level of severities here. So this is can be considered as a severity. And the source port is 4302 and the destination port is 25. Now 25 port, when I say that the port number 25, what is that the port number 25 if it is? So port number 25 is nothing but we call as SMTP port. We call it a simple mail transfer protocol, which is used for the email. So here we can see that there might be a chances there is a phishing email happens. So this email may contain some attachment which have something as a malware. So let us see that how it's going to be detect, how we're going to investigate it. So here we can see that the port number 25 we have received, and this is the data here. You can see that here. So when we have this data, you can see that this is at the log here. So these log, what is going to give us the information here? So if you can see that the source IP, the destination IP. So how those IP addresses can be there? This is the SMTP here. We can see the simple mail transfer protocol where they have received one attachment. This attachment is called as a text.zip here. This text.zip contains certain malware through which the attack may happen. So this is the inbound SMPT here. Inbound SMPT means like these user, someone is a user as a 7090.37.110. So this user have sent it an email to this user. So it means like there is a text.zip. So there is a zip file where they have sent it an email which contains some malware. Like these, we have to take an actions on these IP addresses. We need to block this IP address into the firewalls. We want to check like what type of activities happens. Is the other user also have received any email through this IP address? So investigations are into the different process. We're going to trace the location. We're going to see that what are the port, what are the information from where it is happening, why this is getting, what type of data they have used. Is that they are using the VPN or it is the user have clicked on some malicious link and so reason. There will be a several reason where we need to understand while we are doing the investigations. So the investigations can be done in a different process here. So if I talk about it, let me just show you something here. There is a several sim tool is there. This is one of the Splunk tool here. If we can see that here. So these Splunk tool are going to give us the complete informations about what is happening in the assets here. So if I say that, let's imagine a situation. I want to see that there are the certain users are there. What are those user lists are there from where it is happening? So there are the different queries are there which we have to return here. Now let me just give you some example here. Imagine a situation. There is a malware. There is a malware through the URL. Means like there is some malicious website we have it, malicious URL we have it. So these malicious URL, some of the user have, some of the list, some of the user have visited to this list. Let me take that in example. Some of the users have visited to this bad URL. Now we need to list what are what are the number of users, what are the number of users have visited to this website here. That information is very required. I mean, I need the IP addresses, the user who have visited to this URL, as well as I want to see the location. These are the informations I needed to know. So, as a security specialist, this is the valid reason. See, there is an organization. Let me make it in a more easy. As we have one organizations, over these organizations we have the asset, and they are the different users are there. So these users have visited to the some malicious website. So the first thing is that what we need to know that what are the users have visited to that malicious website. That's the most important part here, right? So how are we going to get those informations? How are we going to check those information? Let me just show you an example here. This is just a sample to get you understand. First I need to go to the particular URL here. So let's see that I'm just taking some test data here. I'm going to take this as an access combine here. Now here, there are several URLs are there. Now I want to take it, this is as a buttercupskims.com. If you can see that this is the URL, I want to consider that as a malicious website. Now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to take this domain first. I got this domain. Now I want to see like how many users have visited here. So this is the malicious URL. Let's imagine this is a malicious URL, and here I want to see the client or the client IP, whatever we have it. So you don't worry about this. What I'm doing it, as we're going to discuss that in clear. Just take it as an exit in trailer. Let's see that here. So here we can see that we are going to get some data here. So what is this data about? So these data, what we are getting it, it's about the complete information about what is happening over this. So let me just see that what I have done. So here domain. So here we can see that this is the client IPs who visited to the domain here. So which domain? So let's see that this domain can be considered as malicious domain. So I believe you're getting it that the domain list, we can see that this is at the domain list. And if I say that this is a malicious, it means like I can just rename them as to know more detail about that. So here we can go ahead. So this is the malicious URL and this is the client who visited to this. Means like we are able to see this information. These are the informations we got it, the particular URL which have visited. Now what we're gonna do it, we're going to create an investigations and we're going to take an actions on these URL why this user have visited. First we're going to block this and we're going to schedule the scan. We're going to talk to them, like we're gonna see that is it was an incoming connections where this user have clicked, or if the user have visited the, or they have just clicked on those. What are the areas are there? So there are the several type of informations which we're going to discuss. We're going to take an actions based on this. So we get the different informations here. I can get this information into the visualization form. I can check about this data, what are the malicious and what are those count are there, what are the users has there, how those patterns can be there. So there are the several patterns where I can do this investigation and can take an actions on these alerts here. So visualizing this data and getting an action, that is the main role where as a security analyst we're going to be working. Give me the quick okay, guys. Is that till here is fine, or you have any doubt? So I'll wait for a question from your end. I'll take some questions and go ahead. If it is all fine, just put in the chat. Yes, it's fine. I'll be waiting for your response quickly. Is that all thing is going fine? Yes, Lakshmi.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Very good evening.
Yeah, my name is Lakshmi Narsimha. Currently, I'm working in automotive domain.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to enhance my career in cybersecurity. I have 5+ years experience.
Yes.
So here, like as you shown, like yes, like types of events, like who is triggering the website and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So could I able to get the same features with respect to the mobile application also?
Yes, yes.
For
It
example,
can,
uh,
yeah, yeah. See, that is what I'm saying. I'll tell you. If you can see my database here, as I said, you the
mhm.
endpoints, right? Collecting the data from the endpoints. So, what are the
Okay,
corporate devices are there? It can be the
okay,
workstations, it can be the mobile devices, it can be the tablets, or it can be any other IoT devices. It depends upon the client requirement and depends upon the
okay.
process what we are going to collect the data. Even if we can be able to get this data from the printers, like we have a different assets, right? So through which we can
Yes.
be able to see those informations. If I have the printer, I can collect the data from my printer and I can see like what date documents has been getting printed. So there are like different inputs are there. There are the multiple log sources are there through which we're going to collect those logs and we're going to correlate those.
This we have any expiry in the sense like, for example, I need a audit of year of 2023 and 24 or
Yeah. See,
2022. So
in
can we
that
get?
case, yeah, Lakshmi, I'll tell you. In that case, there is something called as a retention, right? How the data can be get retention. So retention is
Okay,
the process of storing the data. How long you're going to
okay,
store that data, it depends upon the company and like policy requirement. So there
okay,
are the several policies or requirements are there. Based on that, the data storage should be there here. So that the secure data storage with the DLP concept we call as a data loss preventions method, like how the access control can be there for those data for going into the past and getting analyzed those or seeing the sub past security or we required certain thing for the forensic investigations. So in that case, those logs can be used.
okay. It deals with the forensic part, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So, and the final one, like, for example, like, as per my experience, like, 5+. So, would I able to start career from SOC, means SOC analyst, or how it will be?
Yeah, I will tell you that, as if now we are dealing with
Yeah.
this concept, right? So we'll take
Okay.
this question regarding the career opportunities or regarding you have any challenges or existing experience. We'll discuss in a while. Okay, Lakshmi?
Sure. In the last, we'll discuss. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah,
for your
yeah. You're welcome.
clarification.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, is there any question from anybody else? If you have, please feel free to, unmute your call or can message me in the chat. Perfect. So let's do that. So as we have seen that, so far we discussed that the SOC analysts are the most important role in the market. So if I'll tell you that, what does the SOC team is going to do it? Let's have a look on this. The SOC team are going to monitor alerts from the SIM. SIM is nothing but the threat detection tool, as we have discussed just now. Splunk, IBM QRadar, Rapid7. There are Sentinel, and so on. There are several tools are there where we can see that. So we're going to analyze the alert. We're going to investigate on those alerts, how those alerts can become, what type of investigations we need to do it. We have the options where we can take a decision. Either it can be the legitimate traffic or it is a bad traffic, like how it would be there, what area we have it here. So those are the important things which we need to check it about it. So when I talk about this process here, as a security analyst, we're going to investigate and we're going to find the reason that is a true positive or a false positive. Let's say that if it is a legitimate activities, right? If it is not a risk, so we can ignore those risks. But if it is considered that is a bad activities happening, at that time we need to take an action. So that can be happen internal or external. That's the most important part where we have to see that. If it is a bad, then obviously we have to report the team. We have to stop doing this activities here. So at this point, we can see that help the team to stop doing the bad activities here. So this is how the SOC team takes. It can be the internal threat or it can be an external threat. Whatever the activities happens, that need to be taken actions here. So these actions are very important as a security analyst, where we have to take an actions and we have to mitigate those security, like security incident whenever it is happens. Is it clear, everybody? Are you getting my point? So this is how the investigation process are there. Getting an alert, analyzing those alerts, taking a decision. We're going to mitigate that is a true positive or false positive, and based on that, we're going to take an action. So this is how the SOC team works. So they have the different type of incident while they've been working on it. It can be a malware infections, it can be unauthorized access, it is a phishing attacks, it can be a DOS attacks, insider threat, data breach, incident response to the vulnerabilities, IoT security incident, web application security, data exfiltrations, brute force attacks. That might be a several brute force attacks may happen, that we need to take care of it. There is the different web application security incident, data exfiltrations, brute force attack. There can be a policy abuse. So this is some of the attack patterns where we can see that. So these attack patterns are going to give us the elaborate idea how we can mitigate, what are use cases are there, how we can protect an assets here. So these are the some of the attack patterns may happen. Also we have an options while we are securing an asset, as we know, the cloud becomes more important for any businesses. Everybody's switching their business to the cloud here, right from the medium scale business to the advanced or high scale businesses. Multinational companies, they use the cloud services, as we know that. So cloud referred to be a set of practice, technology, policy, control. We implement different data protections, applications, infrastructure with the cloud computing environment. So here we have organizations are increasingly adopting the cloud services for storing, processing, managing the data, ensuring the security. What are the security informations are there? What are security process are there? So cloud becomes the paramount information here. So when we put the data in the cloud, we need to be have the security, the proper security to those assets, which is most important part here. So while implementing the security solutions, there are different processes are there. There are different solutions are there. But I must say that the Azure Sentinel, which is widely used solution worldwide. 70% of organizations, when they're securing the cloud platform, they're gonna use the cloud tools from Microsoft Azure. The Microsoft provide the Azure Sentinel, one of the tool which they monitor. They see what activities happens, what are processes happens, how we going to mitigate those security incident. This is all we are going to discuss in detail. I'm going to give you a brief idea. I have a one we have a team working on a Azure Sentinel. I'm going to give you one demonstrations, if it is possible today, about how those Azure Sentinels are there, how it's going to be work. Now let me tell you about it. Why the cloud security is most important for the data security, for availabilities, for the compliance, for disaster recovery, business continuity, governance. There are different identity access management process are there. So there are the several areas are there where the cloud becomes a paramount and they becomes very important process for to carry the security for it. So this is how the security measures can be taken. This is how the process will be taken place here. Now now when I talk about Azure, which is the most important part, which is integrating with the multiple teams, which I was going to show you that. So I'll tell you in a while like how this Azure Sentinel work. One of my team member, Mr. Umar, is there in the meeting, so he's going to explain you about the cloud, how it works, what are the assets are there, what are the sentinels are there, what are the process it can be mitigated, some output, how this is look like, what is Azure Sentinels are there, which is going to be implement things, how the security implementations can be happens. So those are the areas where we're gonna discuss that, in coming process, how it work, what are the things is happen, all those details we're going to discuss. So this is comes under the cloud security process when we are talking about it. So there are the different attacks happens that need to be get protect for the data protections, identity access management, security compliance. There's a configurations management. There's the application security. There's a cloud infrastructures. There is the security patching. There's a DLP process we call it the data loss prevention method. So this is some of the inputs where we can see that as a cloud incident response here. This is how the processes runs. So this is comes into the security areas which we need to understand. These process we need to see like how we're going to protect. So when it is protecting, there are the different type of attackers are there. Like we have the white hat hackers, we have like black hat hackers, we have the gray hat hackers. So they use a different method. They use a different trick in order to protect, in order to attack. So if I talk about it, what are those all are? So white hat hackers are nothing but the good guys, which are the security specialists, which are going to protect an asset from different type of attack. When I talk about the black hat hackers, these are nothing but the bad guys. They have only one motive to make it attack for the huge profit. It can be for the vandalisms. It may get destroy the data. It may get an access to the data. There are the several reasons where the black hat hackers are going to do this attack. And in between the black and white, we have the gray hat hackers. It's like a cat on the wall. We don't know where it's going to be jump. Either it can be the right, left. It depends upon the situation. It depends upon the conditions where the gray hat hackers have been working. So, in order to protect any asset, we have one thing we call as information security, which is a wider information, which is a part of the cyber security itself. If I talk about the information security, it comes into the the different way. The subset of information security is a cyber security, in fact. So there is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So based on this standard, we are going to design the security for any organization. It can be anything. Let me show you something. If I talk about the security implementation, either it can be for the device, either it can be for the application, either it can be for the computers, it can be for the networks, it can be any physical security. Even if I talk about the physical security, or it can be any policy or procedures, whatever it we have it. So all this entire process, when we are seeing that, so these entire process have been going to protect by with the standard of the CIA triad we call as confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This plays major role. So how the data can be a confidential, how the data can be have maintain the integrity and availability. Now, when I talk about the confidentiality nothing but let's say that an example. Let me show you something. Let me just show you some attack here. How this attack may happen. So let's have a look on this. What I'm gonna do it. Let me just make some attack here on my network where the confidentially attack may happen. So lack of confidentiality can be there. So you don't worry about it. What is going on? I'm gonna show you that in detail. So this is just to get you an idea about how the attack patterns can be there from the attackers. Okay. So I'll take my Windows machine. I'll try to implement an attack. Let's see that how it happens. 94823C1C59. Okay. All right. So what I'll do it, I'll try to go to the one applications here. Let's see that. So I'm going to get login to the one of the applications where I want to get login here. Let's see that here. So when I'm going to the one applications where I'm going to get login, what happens? Let's see that. It is getting to root. So whatever the activity we performed here, so that's all I've been getting captured. That might be an attack happens in order to do some to get some the informations from the target computers. These are the different way where the attackers may use this attack pattern. See that I'm going to the google.com, I'm going to the facebook.com. So I'm trying to give some of the URLs here. So whenever I'm using those requests here, so these requests have been getting passes from here. Are you able to see this here, guys? The information where the user have we have visited the Facebook URL here. We have visited to like google.com. Are you able to see this information, everybody? Just put in the chat yes if you can see that. Yes. Perfect. So this is are the informations. Even I say that when it is possible, an attacker may also get an access to those websites here. Means that lack of confidentiality we can see that. So whenever we use a credit card, debit card, any information that can be get attacked. If I talk about integrity, like modification, there can be a modifications here. Like imagine a situations if we are going to the Amazon here. Let's see that. Let me stop this attack so I can make it like more easy for us. Let's see that if I'm going to the Amazon.com here. If something happen. So here we can see that we are there at the Amazon.com. Now, I want to purchase this keyboard. Let's say that. So how much this cost me? It cost me $39, right? So it's cost me $39. Can I be able to make this changes the price? I don't want to purchase this in $39. I don't have this $39. I want to make it this is just in $10 or less than that. Is that possible? Can I make these changes? Obviously no. I am as a user, I don't have any access. I can't make any changes here, right? I don't have any privilege. I can't change any kind of prices here when I want to get an access here. So this is how it comes. When I talk about a user experience, when we are talking about it, we can't be able to make changes anything in this prices here because we are not an authorized agent, not even in the this information here. That is nothing but we call as an integrity here. So integrity is nothing but where the proper user must have an rights to make changes. Unauthorized person should not be able to make these changes here. So that comes on the integrity here. Confidentiality, integrity now comes to the availability here. Now availability is nothing but where your services always should be available for the users to get an access. So we as a security specialist, we always make our services up. It should be running and it should be getting accessible for the authorized person. That is called as an availability here. So confidentiality, integrity, availability also plays major role while designing the security for designing the policies. They are different audit informations. So there are several things which we need to check about here. This is how the security works. Now I'll tell you one of the fact here. If we've been working as a cybersecurity specialist, if you've been working as a security analyst, that's the most important part is about the salaries, how much we are going to get it, what are the salary range can be there here. So while you've been working as a cybersecurity specialist, you get the higher scale payments here where according to the recent Forbes survey, the high-end paying job salaries there in the cybersecurity as 1,000, around 1 lakh, 1 lakh $1,000 can be there for a user to as an employee to be working on a certain project. So average salary can be a $1 lakh which have been getting started for a cybersecurity beginner or the medium level skills. Means like in the international market, it's around 70 to 80 lakhs per annum. This is at the package which is going on. I have my students who are earning around $1,50,000, $1,80,000 as in like the salary scale. And there's a huge opportunity for the people who are planning to be switch their career into the US from India to US if they're planning or they want to get work and settle down there. But because the cybersecurity specialist job role have like huge opportunity, like getting into this project and like making your career into the different way. This is how the opportunities comes here. So if I talk about it depends on us, like how we're going to be work as a security specialist. My students are working in EY, Google, KPMG, Microsoft, IBM, Infosys, Deloitte, Wipro. like there's huge companies are there where still there is requirements are there with the proper skill set, with the proper channel, like how you're going to reach there. That's our most important part here. So I'll tell you, it depends upon like how we need to travel. Let's see that if you're moving from Hyderabad to Bangalore, how you'll go. Maybe you go by car. It's gonna take around 12 hours, 15 hours to reach. You go by the train, you're gonna spend 8 to 10 hours. If you're going by flight, you're going to reach just in 2 hours. Max 2 hours it takes you to reach the Bangalore. So how faster you need to reach your goal, that's most important part. You need to be have a decision making process. You need to be taking smart decision today time. The people are getting higher pay packages. They are not at the same scale of 3 lakh 4 lakh package. The people are there the time to take the package of 10 to 15 lakhs in the market. This is what how the market is running. You have to take a proper decision. Minimum a package of 10 to 15 lakh, which is our average. The people who have a good skill set, which have been working since 10 years, 12 years, they have the package around like like 40,000, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs. These are the packages going on. Up to 70 lakh package can be there in India itself. And these give you a wider opportunity where and how you want to start your career. So I want you to take a proper decision. You want to decide first, yes, this is for me. You have to trust on yourself. You have to take a decisions like, with the right way. Opportunity will never come, never delay your success. I want you to take a right decisions, do the research market, see the content, subject, process, and take your decisions. See, if you want to go ahead, it's similar like a Google map. Yeah? When you put it, what is your source? What is your destination? Where you have to reach, that's the destination. So destination can only be measured by seeing your source address, means your source point, where from where to where you're going it. The success is the similar way. Where is what positions we are at now, where we want to reach, you need to understand that. So your current position, where is and where you're going to reach, that's how you're going to get the success. So this is the destination which is going in the market. This is the process which have the huge demand in the market. If you can do some research, if you're going to see like how it's going to be work, what things is happens, you're going to get the complete detail about this is the process where you can make like the proper decision, where you can have it like the huge number of opportunities where we can see that. So if I'll tell you something, how to become a SOC analyst, if you ask me, the most important thing is that the people have a myth that you need to be know the programming language. I must say that you don't require any programming language. This is the first point. The second important thing is that the education's background matters. I'm from non-technical background. Can I be able to start? Yes, of course you can be able to start. There is no need of worried about it that you're from technical background, because there is a huge opportunities are there. The people have been getting hired based on their skill set. So the skill set is the most important for the people to get started. The second important thing is that why should you start the cybersecurity? If you have this question, see there are two things is a fair enough in front of you: opportunity and the salaries and the growth. That's the most important part. So if I'll say you that everybody want to secure the data, like everyone. So when I talk about the cybersecurity specialists are very less in the market. Now it's a trending market in the jobs like 2030 vision. If you see that, there will be the huge opportunities for the people who have been having some good skill set. good expertise in security. So if you start your beginning now, next 6 years, you don't believe where you've been there, because this is never ending field and there's a requirement, there's a huge in the market. So this is how it's going to be work. So I want to tell you one thing. All companies want to secure the data. Either it can be the top MNCs, either it can be the private sector, either it can be talk about the government sector if we go ahead. So there is huge opportunities are there. Only the thing is that where you have to understand here. So it's a global job market training with the high paying salaries. It's you have to take a first step towards the success. You have to take the first step towards decision here. So I must say that there are the different team are there as in working. So advanced scale specialist role which we are talking about is the SOC operation, the security analyst. If you have been working, if you've been as a security specialist, there is a huge opportunities are there. There is plenty of jobs are available. Only thing is that the people have a small skill set. They think that's are good enough to get started. No, you require a proper guidance, you require a proper mentorship, you require a proper areas, what you need to focus it, how you need to focus it, how you need to be get a confident while you're talking with the interviewer, how you've been getting the confidence when you're clearing your the job interview, when you're there on job, how you're performing. So those all measures that's take you to the next decision. I've seen the people are getting $15,000, they're getting uh $70,000. So there are huge salaries are there in the market. If you go to the Middle East, if you go to the US, if you go to the Europe, there is a plenty of opportunity for the people, but they need to take a proper decision. Now, if I'll take you about it, what are the skill set is required? How are we going to be work? What are the process are? So you don't need to worry about it. We have the complete blueprint map, which we're going to guide you the entire step by step process, hand holding process, to get you a proper skill set, to get your proper resume, to get your proper interview preparations, that you can clear an interview with the toughest job market if it is there. High level of client level is there also, you can clear your interview questions, what they're going to be asked, because the level of skill set which you require, the level of concept you require, which we are going to cover. So we're going to start from scratch. We're going to start from the networking, because networking is the most important concept. How the network works, what the things is happens, what are the process happens. That's are the most important part. So we're going to discuss the networking concept. Then we comes into the security. So the cyber security concept with getting understand the entire process, how the security architecture design will be there, what are the firewalls, what type of deployment can be happens, what type of logs we receive from firewalls, what are the IAAA process we call as the identifications, authentications, authorizations, accountability, email gateway, antivirus, DLP, endpoint protection, WAF services, what are the DMZ zones are there, what type of the security devices can be there, technologies, tools, incident investigations, log source integrations, different type of SIMS tools, deployment for the Curada Splunk. You'll be going to get in hands-on on this tool. It's not just I'm doing practical. You're going to practice that. You're going to do this simultaneously. You're going to get a daily design task, what you need to perform. You're also going to get it the common attack patterns which has happened. That's again most important part, and this is the part of concept. While you've been starting your career, you must know about that. How those attacks patterns are there. So common attack and latest attack which is going on in the market, what are the mitigations are there. We're going to talk about the cloud, which is again very important, the complete concept about the cloud by using the Azure Sentinel. So as I said you that we have a special team to deliver you the exact content what is happening. Those are taking the project on the cloud, they're working on the cloud. So those informations we are going to get it here. Last but not the least, which is very important part about the compliance, this is like the people who are not aware about it, the people who have no idea about what is going in the market. So if you see the job studies, if you see the job description, these are the skill set which you're going to get it the entire process. So this is not just as a SOC analyst, but you're going to get it the networking, endpoint security, network security, application security. If I talk about how the SOC operations can be done, What is the compliance process? So you've been getting an introductions to the compliance. That can be the PCI DSS, that can be the SOX, HIPAA, it can be the GDPRs, it can be the ISO 27001. So what are those policies are there? How it's going to be work? What are the things is there? So we're going to discuss that in detail about it. So if you see the tool details, we're going to get discuss on these different tools here. Splunk, IBM Curator, Rapid7, Wireshark, Azure Sentinel, Nessus, Threat Intelligence tools. So these are the tools list which you're going to be getting hands-on, which is having the market demands while you've been working as a security specialist. So you're going to get the complete detail about these tools, like how it's going to be work, what are operations happens, what are things is happens. That's we're going to discuss in detail. So if you talk me about it, if you ask me how this course will be there, so we're going to complete this in just 50 days, because this is a right away crash course to complete your job profile as a SOC analyst or the cloud security specialist. We're going to cover the theoretical concept, 100% practical sessions which we're going to get it, daily recorded video for you to get revisions, as well as you can play as much as possible. We get an access for 5 years. You'll be getting complete video access what we are doing the live session. In case if you miss some session, you have the recording. You can review that recording. Once the session is completed, you can repeat those recording. That's again important part. You're going to get the complete soft material. You're going to get it real time project, how it works. We have like interview sessions, the complete interview sessions, how it works on a real time scenario base. We're going to give you the resume preparation team. They're going to create your resume, the complete from our team. Also, we're going to guide you the job assistance. We're going to create the WhatsApp group where we can have the all the dots clarification. We're going to give you a SOC certified certifications in the name of Tech Geek, and these explanation from zero level to the advanced level. The most important part of this session is the interview material, which we designed to clear you like high in interview. That's not the just basic one, right? You're going to get everything in that interview, how it's working, what are the real scenarios are there in deep interview pattern. We're going to give you the guidance right from your self introduction to the the technical discussions, whatever it is going on with your interviewer. I'm sure after this session 80% of my students can crack their interview in a first attempt. This is what it is happening. So we have like the CV preparation and services. We have expert guidance team which is going to create your resume in detail about it, the complete process till you get it, like any documentations, whatever the process. Our backend team are there to get you the support and gonna give you the complete guidance how it's going. This is what we are going to do. Now, if you ask me, what would be the price for this? So I'll say you the total cost of this course is 70,000. This is your one-time investment. But as you have taken this access, as you have taken this process, have you been taken this webinar? So you're not gonna get it this into the 70,000. You're going to get this discount with huge discount. I must say you have to just pay 25,000 for this course. You're going to pay this 25,000. Along with that, if you're taking this decision for the next batch, only for the limited people, we have in the batch only 10 people. Maximum 10 people will be there in the batch. So what I want you to say that if you be the part of this process, I'm going to give you an access for the red team as well, where all the penetration testing, web testing, how the web application testing may happen, the complete recorded sessions, the complete corporate video sessions we have it, which you're going to get it with the price, which with just prices of 18,000. We're going to, the people get an access with the 18,000 to just web pen testing, but you're going to get the free of cost. You don't need to pay anything. You're going to cover the entire resume preparations, interview patterns, live sessions. This is the live sessions for the SOC, right from networking. You're going to cover 4 modules: networking, the complete networking process. You're going to get the complete cybersecurity concept, SOC analyst, cloud security. That in detail, we're going to discuss all this process with the introductions of compliance. So the compliance process also covering with this. This is what where we have to do it. So this is the cybersecurity process which we are going to guide you, help you step by step process. So this is for the current. It is not for delaying people, like looking that they think because the price get changes. It depends upon the batches where we have it. So this is a current next big market is cybersecurity. If you're looking for to change your career, I must say don't wait it. You do research in the market. You have any questions? Our dedicated team are there. You can contact them. You can take a survey. You can see the things what we are doing it. Then you take the decision. But I must say, if you're looking to do something, you have to take the decision. You can take my WhatsApp number. You can see on my screen 93984299606. You can ping and I can connect you with my consultant, or my consultant can may direct contact you. So that might be a multiple opportunities are there where we can guide you on it. So decision is yours, brother. What you have to do it. All things are set in front of you. The times will never come back. If you're looking for something high, if you're looking something long term for the future, if you're looking for financial status should be a good, then this is your decision. This is your decision where you can take this. So you have 50 days live sessions, which we're going to give you a video access, materials, resume preparation, all guidance for your job process, how it would be there, what are the questions they ask, how you can hunt jobs, what areas you can put your resume, everything. The complete assistance we're gonna give you into in decision. And I make sure that if you get reject in any interview, you can contact back. We can help you out, where you have done, which is not going to be happen. If you do the proper process with us, proper help you're taking with us, 100% you're going to clear your interview in a first attempt, minimum with 8 to 10 lakh package. It depends upon your existing experience, what you're doing. Minimum, maximum people are going to get a job with 8 to 10 lakh packages. 80% of people who are doing the job with us, they get this package. Decision is yours. Complete. We have process. We have two batches. Either you can go for the weekend, either you can go for the regular batches, which is Monday to Friday. We have the two options for that. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me now. Is there any question from anybody? It is depends. First important thing is that skill. Gunjan, if I'll tell you that, the certifications can be an important, but the most important thing is your skill set to get clear your interview. So this is also certification is always an important while you're going for higher position. We can guide you how to get it and how you can crack those interviews. We can guide you what you have to say that. Yep. Is there any question from anybody else? Please feel free to ask me. If you have any questions, if anything is lacking you, you can ask me any question. Lakshmi, you were saying something.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, like my question is regarding currently I'm working in automotive domain. I think SDV vehicles we are dealing
Okay.
with, software defined vehicles. So here it will connect with Bluetooth as well as the internet. It's
Mm-hmm.
completely connected to the vehicle. So the recent attacks, what I have seen in the past videos. So the major OEMs, such called as Jeep. So it was attacked by one of the person. So
Mm-hmm.
to protect that, so I was looking for the cyber security, how we are going to attack and what areas. For example, is it possible to switch the career to complete software, as you told, like not only with my automotive background. So is it possible with my experience?
Yes, see, I'll tell you, Lakshmi, your experience is there into the software, right?
Yes, yes,
Automation, you do the automations, right?
yes, yes. Automotive,
Automotive. Okay, automotive. Okay.
embedded. In
Like
generally, we call it as embedded software
embedded.
engineering.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100% it is possible. You can switch your career into the security because you have already the existing client view, like the process, how it's implemented. So the security is a demanded jobs in the market. Like, they welcome everybody from different domain. Those have a proper
Mhm.
skill set. The people
Yeah,
who
skill is
people think
must.
like,
Yes, correct.
then skill set is the most important part. So we have a guidance where you can give a clear process end to end. That is not from
Mhm.
basic level, like, you've been getting an advanced level skill. From zero level we are going to learn things. So that's make you the complete area where you can understand. If somebody given you the network to secure, so you should know like what are the technology, what are the process are required, what are the assets need to be get deployed. If somebody have like endpoint, somebody have the emails, like, how they're going to be protect. So those are the areas where we are going to talk it, the like, the paining point, like, I'll tell you that what is the market demands, what they need, the security aspects that we're going to cover in this session.
Okay, okay. Will be also move to security officer range, right? Like a chief
Yes,
security
yes,
officer.
yes, yes, yes.
Mm.
You can go with the
Okay, okay.
CISSP, CISO. You can like,
Y-
process with that as well. Like, but
Okay,
we need to
okay.
gain some more knowledge and experience. That's make us like, more survival there in the market.
Okay, 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 okay. Got it, got it. It will be same similar to the Scrum Agile process methodology because I've been working as a tech lead here. So the
Mhm.
same role or expected role will get.
Yeah, I'll tell you. See, when you've been there, right? When you get the complete skill set. So because you'll be
Mhm.
working as a tech lead, or you can be applied directly for the manager. I can tell you with this course, because this experience with the people who have done CISSP and working in security for next, like, the last 5 years they've been working, but they require a proper guidance. They are doing the day to day activities, but they want to get proceed. They want to get changes in the job market. So they have interacted with us, and we have designed the curriculum in a manner they have applied directly for the manager. Now while you getting into the manager, what are the things are there, how you understand their assets, how they you understand the criticalities of those assets, how we can onboard those assets, what are the licensing they required. So those are the important skill set which we you required, as well as like, how we going to handle those projects, what are the teams are there on that project, what are the team coordinations we required. So it depends upon the time scope and like, what are the budget. So what are the tools, technologies, budget can be there. So these all things you're going to be like, interact freely when you have already the existing experience on it, where you can utilize.
Okay,
So as
got it.
you work as a team leader, and as you've been working as a client level, like, client facing role, you know very well interacting with the team, taking
Yeah.
out the output, right?
Yes,
Assigning
yes.
like budget, what are the rosters you need to like, work, what are like, the capabilities, what are the vendors management. Even you'll be going to manage different vendors also, right? So what are the
Yes, yes.
collaborations for those vendors. So those are the skill set, like, which can be get implemented with the same way here.
Okay, okay, okay. Got it, got it. It was clear. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
So,
you.
and one more query, like this duration will be for example, if I go with daily regular classes, so the
Yeah.
duration will be changed or the same 50 days
Monday to
something.
Friday. Monday to Friday. Daily, if you're going Monday to Friday, the time
Uh-huh.
will be like, 8:30, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m.
8:30 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, okay, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. and it would be like 50 days duration, right?
Yes, yes. 50 days duration.
Okay, okay, got it. Like in the weekend, it will be like three hours, Saturday and Sunday,
Yes, yes.
if I'm wrong. Okay,
No,
okay,
no, no, you're right. It is
okay,
2 to 3
okay, got
hours,
it.
right? Saturday, Sunday will be there.
Okay,
And that
okay,
is in
thank
the
you.
morning, like, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Okay, 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 okay. Got it, got it. Parallelly, I am also doing some certification, but it is related to the automotive. Like the same concept of what I see in confidentiality, integrity, and availability, and risk assessment management, TARA, threat analysis. These are the topics I was somewhat familiar, but I need to fill the gap. The proper mentor I'm looking because how much knowledge we will get from YouTube or some other external, but the
Yeah.
puzzle need to pass, then only it
Exactly,
will be execute
exactly,
properly.
exactly,
Until
exactly right.
unless it will be like R&D type only. If I
Yes,
go with the same and getting downloading from the chat GPT, and if I apply for Amazon or some other company, if they ask completely the different question, I will get surprised, and what I seen that is not relevant.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
Hopefully I am looking for the next chance. This will be completely live sessions only, right? Not a
Yes,
recordable, right?
100% live session.
Okay,
Recorded
okay.
for
And
this live session recording, you will get it also
oh, okay,
for
okay.
revision.
Once we will get ensure like we'll get that record accessible, right? If I
Yes,
missed
yes,
anything.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay, okay. Got it, got it, got it. Yeah. Thank you once again for
You're
your
welcome.
time and
You're welcome, Lakshmi.
pleasure.
I all the
Yeah,
best.
yeah. Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Any other question from anyone? Hemant, Harsha, Gunjan, Gerenio, Shiva, Somanath, Pavan. You have any question, please feel free to ask me. What is the timing on weekend? It would be a 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. 2 hours, 7 a.m. to 9. Sometime it may take also 10, right? So we take 2 hours really. Are you from IST timing or EST, CST? What time zone you have it, Girimino? Yes, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, Saturday, Sunday will be the timing. The timing is like 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. We are going to work on it. You're from Dubai. All right. Okay. So we can have it some slot based on the country convince. So we can get that detail. You can contact to the team and can give you the complete detail about that. Vulnerability assessment, web pen testing also you're going to get it in detail. So you don't worry about that. So you'll be going to get that information also in this. Like we're going to use the Nessus for the vulnerability assessment. And that is as I said you the red team, you will be getting in a video access so for which we can be work on it. For the red team, not for the blue team which we are working. All right. So thank you very much for listening me, guys. I really enjoy talking you, and I all the best and all the wish you for coming sessions. If you have anything, any information, you can log into our website as well as you can contact to the person who have shared you this link. You can reply them the message if you message them they can call you back again. IM is an identity access management team where Hemant they're going to be work as uh, as in IAAA, as I said, your identification, authentication, authorizations, accountability. So they will what are the identifications of the employee, what type of access, the rule access can be there, how they're going to be get privilege, what are permanent privilege, how those privilege can be get maintained. So those areas they've been going. So it can be the file access permissions or based on the designations what level of access they require, if they are into the writing or the read write, or they can be have the full control. So that comes from the IM process. So that's come on the permissions, how those permissions can be get them. Does the SOC IM team or associate to? Yeah, certain way we need to be get interact with the IM team, but the SOC operations is quite different than the IM team. You're welcome. All right. Is there any questions? Yes, Grimino. Can you please help me out with your WhatsApp number? Is that possible, or you can just ping them back? So our team will be sending you the complete brochure about this, the complete course brochure. You're gonna get it on WhatsApp. You can just ping, like, where you got the, like, the link, right? Through which number you got the link. So just then tell them, like, send the course material syllabus. They're going to send you that. All right. Any question from Shiva, Harsha? What is a broken link bounty cause of vulnerabilities? Sorry, I didn't get your question, Mr. Harsha. All right. So that's all for today.